I wanted to meet the head man, Kevin Linfoot, but he never gives TV interviews. Ever. Well, he never has before. What can I say? It must be the way I ask. Kevin's from a very humble background, severely dyslexic, he doesn't read, but he has a special talent for business. I think it's safe to say that he didn't like the camera. He only settled in when we got talking about his next development. 170-metre tall, £225 million pair of skyscrapers that will dwarf everything else in Leeds and release nearly 900 more apartments onto the market. But is it essentially about profit? I mean, what motivates you as a man that sits on a piece of land and puts this on it?
I sort of hold my hand up. The profit levels on this building are about half of what we usually work on. But I just think somebody's got to do it. I know how difficult these things are to do, and you know, I want to do it.
Why do it?
I suppose really it's something that I wanted to do for myself.
So this is going to be the first of the big kind of tower blocks, really. We can't call it a tower block, can we?
No.
What can we call it?
Well, it's a vertical village. A
vertical village, I like that. This is the first of the vertical villages, really, to happen in Leeds. Do you think there is the confidence in Leeds to have this kind of grand scheme?
Oh, 100%.
Because there's some buildings in Leeds that, you know, are open for business and they're empty.
But I think what you've sort of got to remember is we have peaks and troughs, and at the moment, over the space of the last 5 months, 1,200 units have been finished. It's too many. Leeds can't cope with that amount. It'll take another 6 months for all that lot to filter through. Right. Now, once that filters through, I think you'll find there'll be very few flats that aren't lived in.
This is no pipe dream. The Lumiere model alone costs £70,000. Kevin's developed 4,000 flats. He controls 40% of the Leeds apartment market. He's worth a cool £140 million. And so we're how many floors up here? 14?
14.
And this is how many?
In total, it's 52 stories.
That is phenomenal. I mean, we're high up now. We can kind of really get a good idea of what's going on in the city. But, you know, to think that we're only here and this, it kind of takes your breath away.
The Bridgewater building, the one that we built over there,
right,
is here somewhere.
Okay.
You know, it's a third as big again.
It's extraordinary.
If you think you can see that Bridgewater from everywhere that you drive in from.
It seems to me that developers like Kevin are driving Leeds upwards. There's no master plan for the future like Bradford has. But I've been told that one man does have a vision for Leeds, and that if I want to know about the future for the city, he's the person to see. Leeds has no Allsop-style plan. It has John Thorpe, civic architect. Hello. You are here.
Yes, I'm here.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Well, it's nice. It's such an amazing kind of space. As soon as you walk in, it looks like someone's gone mad with the colouring pens.
We certainly have.
Is that you? John no longer designs buildings. He designs the whole city. He used to have Leeds in his head. Now, with retirement approaching, he's mapping it out on the walls so other people can take on his vision.
Mosaic 1 all the way through to a Mosaic 15. This M9 is the old city there is. Then I've got something like 20 bridges across the river. The ones with dots on are completely new footbridges.
Phenomenal.
Then I've got a record here of 23, I think it is, tall buildings, including Bridgewater Place.
So brand new tall buildings?
Yes, which may...
John and the city leaders think Leeds is growing too fast for a master plan like Bradford's. Development is encouraged if it fits the vision, but there are no hard and fast design rules. I mean, this is unseen, isn't it? I mean, maybe the last time we saw this kind of growth, it was in the Victorian era.
Indeed, it is epochal in that sense. It's the largest, strongest level of activity in the city centre since that period.
Are we talking iconic buildings here, beautiful buildings? I mean, we look out and there are some 60s buildings. I wouldn't say they're awfully wonderful to look at. We don't want too many more of those, presumably, because we're creating this brand new landscape for Leeds.
Yes, beautiful buildings if possible. Well, very carefully thought through detailing.
John's role is studied by architects and academics from across the world. After seeing me, he's on the train for an appointment at 10 Downing Street. With so many people interested in his opinion, I wondered whether he had a vision of perfect future Leeds. So what would your ideal Leeds look like then, John?
It would look like these three drawings in the centre on top of one another.
So this is your kind of utopian ideal then? All these layered on top of each other equals fantastic city?
Yes.
I think Leeds is very lucky to have you, John.
Oh, that's kind of you to say so. I don't know whether they think so.
Oh, really? Do you get much opposition?
Well, no, it's more to do with the fact that this is a new kind of way of working.
Are other cities doing it wrong? Is Bradford doing it wrong, for example?
Not at all. I like the complementarity of approaches. I think the other difference is the economy. I keep looking at the centre in a sense. The economy has driven this in the last 3 to 5 years at quite a pace.
Right.
And so we've had to be reactive to that force.
So that's the developers just kind of dying to get in on the action that is Leeds.
Yeah, as opposed to attracting development by having bold ideas and so on.
Do you like your job?
I do. I'm very, very lucky. It's a great period to be active, and I hope it's an appropriate way of working.
It costs more to rent space in Leeds than Paris, Munich or LA. No wonder Leeds is going up. But how is living at 50 floors going to actually feel? I visited the Lumiere show flat. At 400 square feet, it's exactly the same size as a flat in the Towers will be. Okay. That's perfect. With interiors by Philippe Starck, they're retailing at 160,000. Do you know, it's kind of small, but it feels nice and airy, which is good. Nice lighting, loads of glass, lots of windows to look out. Oh, this is lovely. But it's £20,000 if you fill it with a Starck design package like this. But this is what it's about. I mean, if you are city living, you want a city view. And that is it. That is great. I like that. So it's a small space, but I like it. You see, here we're 14 floors up. Feels nice. I like it. Very comfortable with that whole kind of city existence. Love the view. But 50 floors up, I don't know. I might have a problem being 50 floors up. I think it would make me slightly uneasy. I like the fact that here we've got apartments with balconies and you get outside, hear the city, hear the vibe. You wouldn't want to be stepping outside at 50 stories high. I think that might make me feel slightly uneasy. It's a different ball game completely. Leeds is conducting a real-life experiment in city living. Private developers, not master planners, are testing the limits of the market here. 1,000 apartments in 2002, 8,000 today. At least that many again in the pipeline over the next 5 years. If the economy suddenly fails, Leeds will have a lot of empty flats. But one way to be recession-proof is to get the best in design. And in Ken Shuttleworth, Leeds has got the top architect in the world. We're not enjoying the design of this bridge at all. Just don't look at it, Ken.
It's structural, yeah?
Just think it's going to be gone in 6 months, Ken designed the Gherkin, and his new building will replace the Leeds International Pool. We are on the busiest road in Leeds, it has to be said, but for one very good reason, and we can see the pool behind us. Spectacular plans here for Leeds, do you think?
Absolutely, it's going to make the Gherkin look sort of normal, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Gosh, how exciting!
Exciting.
So Ken, can you tell me a little bit about the Spiracle and what is going on here and the shape of the building and what you're trying to do?
Well, the Spiracle comes from the idea of being a building that's very much about natural ventilation. So it's basically a very simple building which is circular in form. On the top we have this massive wind turbine which basically ventilates, produces enough power to power the core. I think it's 5 times